Good morning, and welcome to Image 2000. My name is Leanne Hampke, and today Jerry Ulman and I are going to review with you Image 2000 and retail merchandising. I want to talk a little bit today with you about this package that you see in front of you. So before we get started, we're going to talk a lot about images today. So before we get started, we're going to play a little game, so I want you to play along with me here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop an image up behind me on the screen, and I want you to tell me the first thing that you think of. Just holler it out when you see this. Tell me what you think of. Jerry? Somebody else, what do you see when you see this?
Handheld.
Handheld. Who said that? Oh my gosh, we're going to the back row. Hang on, everybody. Oh. Okay, I'll get you one later. People in the front row need to answer these questions. Okay, I'm going to give you an easy one now. I want you to take a look at this. See what you see. There you go, Jim. Here in the front row. I think I can make it. Are you ready? Okay, there's a blue box. Now, I'm not beyond subliminal messages, so I want you to kind of keep an eye out and tell me what you see now. Money. All right. You ready? All righty. So when you think of Image 2000, this is what I want you to think about. And what this stands for is dollars per square foot. Dollars per square foot. The Image 2000 program that we're going to talk about today is about increasing customer expectations and making your employees' morale go up and things like that. But basically it comes down to more money for you and your dealerships. So without any further ado, let's take a look at what we're going to review today. The first thing we're going to talk about is customer expectations, because this program was designed to meet and exceed your customers' needs. We thought about the customers when we put the program together, and we're going to look at what they want and what they need out of you. The second thing, Jerry's going to come on and talk to you a little bit about buying atmosphere, how to use these elements in your stores to create that buying atmosphere that's going to make people want to buy from you. And the final thing we're going to talk about is how this can be the key to your future growth. So let's get off started. Let's go back a little bit into the past, though. Who had that green and yellow pegboard in their dealership at any point in time, or the dark paneled walls? Remember those? Used to be small, dark showrooms. Things were kind of smaller. They were a little bit more cluttered. Customer convenience was not quite as critical to people. They had just limited places that they could go shop. So they were used to going to their hardware store, to their local dealers. But you look at it today, people have a lot more choices, a lot more places to shop. And convenience is even more important. So into the present we go with Image 2000. And you had a chance last night to kind of take a look at some of the things down in the booth. We've got all these elements down for you again tomorrow when you get a chance to go down. But this is what Image 2000 is all about. It's about having a bright, a clean, a well-lit place that people can come in and they want to shop. You can see convenience store hours are really critical to be shopping when people are going to be buying from you. Saturdays and Sundays and evenings are important. Products clearly marked. If you notice over here on the trimmer line, all of the trimmers are marked clearly. The blowers, the chainsaws, they're marked so people can read the features and self-shop your stores. Well, now we look at the future. You got a chance last night to go in with Image 2000. You saw the elements in the new future, dealership of the future. And if you haven't had a chance, go down and try out the virtual reality and kind of take a look about what that store might look like in the future. Now, customer expectations. It comes down to this. You only get one chance to make a very first impression. So when a person walks through your front door of your dealership, what kind of an impression do you create for that customer? Here's a couple examples we'll take a look at together. If you had a choice, which one of these places would you shop? And even more importantly, if you've got concerns with trying to get good employees, and if you want them to be able to shop and customers and employees to be able to work in your particular store, wouldn't you want them to be in a good location like this? So when you're trying, everybody struggles in getting good employees and keeping them. This is a way to help keep those employees happy because you've got a nice, pleasant environment for them to work in. Fact, over 2/3 of the final consumer purchase decisions are actually made on your showroom floor. 2/3 are made actually on your showroom floor. So it's really critical that that showroom floor has the appeal that's going to make people want to buy from you. Customer expectations, good parking. People want to be able to drive up, park, get in, get out, and do what they need to do because they have other things that they need to do. 80% of purchases are made on evenings and weekends. 80% of the business transactions that are here in the United States are made after hours and on weekends, the times that we are typically closed. So it's important to keep that in mind when you set the hours for your store and how you're going to work that. And in some of the other classes today, you're going to hear some more information about some dealers that have implemented new policies as far as hours and how that's worked for them. Clean store is pretty clear-cut. You want it to be clean, a place where people can come in, the well-marked products. Special promotions. If you're running a special promotion, make sure that you advertise it. You take your gondolas and you want to change them around so there's always something new and exciting about the store coming up. And your customers like to have variety and choices because they shop at a lot of different places. So let's take a look at one case study outside of our industry. Those of you that might be familiar with Rite Aid, which is a regional drugstore chain. They implemented a program like Image 2000 and had some pretty significant results. Remember we talked about the dollars per square foot earlier today? They tracked their dollars per square foot and it went up 70% by implementing a program like this. The other thing that they tracked was net income. In a program like this, their net income went up 308% because they were able to get products out to where the customers were needing it, and then they were able to put it in those critical zones so that the customers were buying the most profitable products, and it increased their overall net income. Now let's get a little bit closer to home. Those of you that have participated, we've had about 12 dealers that we started with initially that participated in the pilot program for Image 2000. So this program is tested, and over 118 dealers participated last year. So we're starting to get some information back to tell you how things are going. What I did on this chart is kind of let you see what the performance of the pilot dealers is compared to the average John Deere dealer. So in the categories of parts, riding lawn equipment, commercial, and handheld, you can see on average, for example, parts were at 6% for most dealers, but dealers that carried Image 2000 were up 16%. If you look at handheld, here's a pretty significant number. The overall increase for handheld this year was about 20%, but dealers that participated in Image 2000 had 3 times that increase at 64%. Because they got the trimmers, the blowers out there where their customers can see them. They were well merchandised. Customers could self-shop, pick out what they needed, bring it to the counter. They were able to do it on their own. And just by getting it in a location where customers are able to see it, you're going to increase your sales. Now, we'll take it down one step further, actually, to an individual dealer. Case study, Shaw's Ridge Equipment, one of my old dealers up in Sanford, Maine, decided he wanted a new look to his store. It was time for a change. He'd been in that location for quite a while, and he just decided it was time. Got a whole team of people together, and actually his employees were the ones that took the charge and put on this program for their dealership location. And basically, you can see what happened. He had a parts increase of 20% and riding lawn equipment increase of 34%. And they attribute a lot of it to this program because their customers were now really excited. But the most important thing, he said, not only did they make their money back, but they made it up in employee attitude. All of a sudden, their employees were coming in, excited about coming to work. They felt much more a part of the organization because they actually helped design the Image 2000 elements. They installed it. They cleaned up. They painted up. They fixed up. They did it as a team. When the results came back so positively, it made such a difference in their store location. Their customers are happy, the employees are happy, and their money keeps rolling in. So that's what happened with Bob Gagnon. Let's take a look at before. This gives you an idea of what his store looked like before. And he was a good dealer, very typical dealer, has a lot of good things going on. He's carrying some other brands, but he had a kind of scattered look to his store. He didn't have a real clear message. So this is the picture before. This is what it looks like after. A very clear message. He's a John Deere dealer. Customers know that he's in the business to sell John Deere equipment, and he's got the full line, and you can see it displayed nicely in his store. Here's another dealer close to home here, Richard from Mount Juliet, Tennessee, right here in the Nashville area, also implemented Image 2000. And I counsel you, if you do this, it's kind of neat to do what Richard did. What he did was take 4 categories and track them on his own. He looked at oil, dry batteries, wet batteries, paint. He moved them out, he merchandised them, and he saw very significant results in those categories. And what he does is he picks special things that he wants to put on special promotions that he wants to run. He sets up displays for those, and he tracks the performance. And you can see some of the increases that he's gotten. Overall, he had an increase of 38% just by implementing the program. So those 2 dealers that actually have done it, and some of the results that they've been able to accomplish. So since we talked a little bit about Wilson Tractor, I want you to hear directly from Richard Millier. We've got a short video that he's going to explain some of the elements, what he did, how it worked in his store location, and we'll get a chance for you to look at it right now.
To be successful, you have to look like you're successful. I'm convinced that we paid for it in the first 60 days. Our building is selling 24 hours a day. I realized when you walk in my place that, am I different than anybody else? I really could see a major difference. I could see that, yes, we were a John Deere Dealer, and we had good, nice equipment, the best money could buy. But I wanted it to be different. We knew that we had a lot of products that if we could get out, if people could see it and touch it and feel it, that would make a difference in our sales. Our first goal was to put up wall units, make every available space and wall that we can put something on it that would sell. So we added wall units and the lighting and the balances, the lighting balances. We actually display 3 times as much product and don't have no wasted space. When you walk up here at midnight, you can look in and you can see all of our hand-built products and our parts display. We have this accent lighting that comes with the wall units.
There's some places right here.
They're on 24 hours a day. And we can still come in and we still look good. It looks professional. Plus it serves as a natural directional flow. If you turn these counters pointing, like to the parts counter, when they come in, they automatically have to walk by everything that's on the shelves. Maybe in times past, we had it all, but nobody knew it. And now we tell them, look, this is what we have, and we got it out where you can see it. People today like to shop for themselves. They're so used to it, going to the mass merchants, going to the auto parts stores today. They like to look around and shop and touch things and pick it up. So we can merchandise and move our products around, and everybody thinks it's good. We have some customers come in once or twice a year, and they walk in and they say, "Gosh, what have you guys done?" Or, it just appears we have a lot more inventory than we did because we got it out where people can see it. But the customers that come in every week, even they make comments. And like I said, we try to change our showroom appearance. We try to change our gondolas so that the people who do come in every week see something new when they walk in the door every time they come in. But our customers, they like being able to wait on themselves. Like I said, they like being able to walk around and pick up things and not feel pressure. It gives people more of a retail environment to shop in. We had a lady come by, and her husband's a farmer, and she came in and she literally shopped. She walked around every gondola we had. She picked up things that, so I didn't know John Deere had this, or I didn't know John Deere had that. She's been in here several times, but even though our store we felt like was nice and clean and neat, and we just didn't have it displayed like we should have. You've always been a choice for them on outdoor power equipment. Now you become their only choice, or maybe their choice that this is the first place they look instead of the second or third. And I think that's one of the reasons that we've done that. And we've noticed whole good sales picked up because of that. Because now people come back in for different things, and they come back in more often to see what we've got and shop around. And so we've seen a big difference in that. Most people have maybe 2 weed trimmers out and 2 blowers. And now we can have a dozen and have all the models. And we can have some actually hang on the wall that people can try, take them outside and start them and run, come back in and hang them up. And so it's helped. For instance, just this past weekend, we had a couple that came in and they just moved into the area. I've been a John Deere customer for 20 years. And she said, I've been into 5 or 6 different locations and we moved quite a bit. She said, I've never seen any place like this. And they left it in the laundry. And so I was pleased that she noticed the difference. We sell 200 or 300 batteries a year, and I thought that was a big number. And I was up there talking to the guy that built a new AutoZone auto parts store. And I asked myself, I said, how's your parts business? And I said, how are you doing on batteries and different things with items that we sell in competition to each other? He said, yeah, we sell a couple hundred batteries a week. And I said, what? He said, yeah, we sell about a couple hundred batteries a week. And he said, about 25 of them are lawn and garden batteries. And I was shocked. I said, that's my competition, I said, the guy a mile up the road, he's selling 25 line. And I said, I wonder how much of my business he's getting. So we came back and with the new displays, and we decided to take one of our major gondolas and do nothing but batteries. There again, we're having to reorder batteries. We never had to order before. Because now we're selling batteries, and I think our battery business is up around 50%. I'm convinced that we pay for it in the first 60 days, the additional part sales. Now, how do we do that? What we do, we take some items in here, particular items, for instance, and we target those. For instance, this year we took a grease gun, and we moved these grease guns to a highly visible area. Last year, we sold around 24 or 5 grease guns. This year, we moved them to a place where people can pick them up and feel of them and see how the quality of them. We're sitting here right next to the parts counter in a retail environment, and we've sold around 60 grease guns this year. Also, oil filters. You know, we have oil filters on part shelves, and the guy walks in and buy an oil filter. Today, it's out on the front counter on one of our wall units, and I would say that our oil filter sales are up 50% this year, and oil as well. It's because people can pick it up, and they know that. I mean, it's easier sometimes they'll come in this one. I need an oil filter for a particular garden tractor and a quart of oil. But if they see it out, they'll pick up 2, or they'll pick up 2 quarts of oil instead of 1. And when they have to ask for it, they don't generally ask for anything extra. But when they can pick it up themselves, sometimes they'll pick up something extra. I know that for the first time, and I've been doing it for a long time, for the first time we've had to reorder several items several times because they sold out. And we always try to use the right choice parts program. We order enough to last a year. But we just didn't have an idea. We did not have a clue how much our business would increase because of our new sales area. In poultry, it's easier for them to work, and it's easier for them to sell things. It's easier for them to make suggestive sales. It's easier for them to walk over to a counter and say, well, this is the blades you need, or this is the oil you need, or this is the filter you need. Because they enjoy it too. It gives them a sense of pride when they can walk in. It's got clean shelves and clean parts and everything is just, it makes it easier for them. I think, you know, to be successful, you have to look like you're successful. And this is what people notice today. When you come in here, you know, we don't have the biggest facility in the world. We don't have, you know, the longest or the widest, the tallest building in town. But we do look like we're in business. And today, people come in here today and they know, you know, we offer them a complete line of whole goods. We offer a complete line of parts and a complete line of service. And that impression, people get that impression when they come in. I don't care what your situation is today, your current situation, but it can be helped by redoing your showroom and your parts area. Because you think, well, how much will it add? I think it will amaze you. I think if you commit to spend $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000, whatever it takes you to do your showroom, that if you will watch it and monitor it, I think it's almost to the point that they can guarantee you that it'll return. We want to move the same image adapted to a service area and move it into the shop. And we think that we'll get at least, if not more, of the return there than we do here on the service after the sale. So we're looking forward to get that done. We're willing to commit that because we think if it works half as good, we can't miss. We have a modern facility already. We have a new store. We didn't really have to do this. But we have noticed the difference. I mean, it's been a noticeable difference and so I would do it again. And I'm looking, I promise you that I'm looking in the 3 to 5 years to do it over. Look for something new. I hope John Deere will continue to provide us with a new look and a new image, and we can upgrade it every 3 to 5 years so we can look different. And keep giving variations of what we have, and so we can continue to be a trendsetter.
Okay, that gave you a chance to hear from Richard Miller with some experience of what he actually went through and how it helped at his dealership location. So far in the class today, we've been able to review customer expectations, and we've gone through a couple case studies to let you know the results of the program so far. So next, I want to turn it over to Jerry, who's going to tell you a little bit about how to use these elements to create a buying atmosphere in your store. Jerry?
Thank you, Leanne. Okay, we're going to talk about creating a buying atmosphere now. Now, who do you think we're creating a buying atmosphere for? Customers, exactly. Do you think customers expect more or demand less these days? More. Yeah. You know, customers compare you too. And they're not only comparing you to other outdoor power equipment stores, but they're comparing you to stores in the mall, to jewelry stores, to car dealers. They're comparing you with everywhere they shop. So let's talk a little about our atmosphere and the Image 2000. Fact, better merchandising of handheld products has proven to increase unit sales by 60%. And we received this statistic from our pilot dealers. And do you think these dealers did it with a display like this with 4 handheld units on the wall? No. They did it with a massive display. Just picture this as a dealership. Maybe that's the front back there, the windows, and you walked in the door. This display would go all the way to that wall. And you wouldn't see 4 handheld trimmers on the wall. You'd see 24 or 30. And you'd see all the parts and accessories that go along with it. And you'd see 10 or 15 blowers and all the accessories that go along with it. That's how these dealers increase their handheld sales, by massive displays. You heard Richard Miller say, to look successful, you got to be successful. To be successful, you got to look successful. That's exactly what they did. And this was their solution. Wall units with handheld products with parts and accessories on it. Fact, 40% of customer purchases are based on impulse. And Leanne talked about 2/3 of the buying decisions are made right on your showroom floor. And how do we do that? Well, one solution is a parts counter fascia. And this is a unit that's designed to sit right in front of your existing parts counter. It's 40 inches high, it's a foot wide. It's getting those impulse items as close to the point of sale as possible. Now we actually have 3 solutions. Here's one, the parts counter fascia, and here's the second one. This is the actual parts counter here. It's front merchandisable, it's lit. It actually has 2 levels. And if you all looked at this last night down on the display floor, we have an 8-foot section down there, and we also have a 12-foot section down there that has 1 single level. And the idea is trying to get those point of sale, the impulse items, as close to the customer as possible. Fact, a picture is worth 1,000 words. That's old, but may be true. And the solution for that is a lighted feature board. This is our lighted feature board. This is an absolute attention grabber in a dealership. And what's interesting is the dealers have ordered this. Many of them have called back in and said, I need 1 or 2 more of these. This is an actual picture of one behind a parts counter. And Leanne, would you dim the lights for a second? Look at those colors. It just jumps right out at you. Now you could use it on a wall display like this, or typically a lot of dealers use it above the counter or behind the parts counter. We have 10 different inserts with this. But this is an absolute grabber. I don't know if you looked at the video, but Richard Miller had it above his parts counter behind him. He actually had 3 of these, and you can bolt them together. You could actually put a display 16 feet long with our lighted feature board. Fact, items placed 40 to 60 inches above the floor create 80% of the sales. So we're talking about items like here, right here. And what's the solution for that? Well, one is a gondola. And here we have a gondola, and this is especially great if you have limited wall space, because you can put a lot of parts and accessories on a gondola. And this gondola here we have on a wall kit. And what we did, we tried to merchandise this. We looked in our parts merchandising book, and we looked under the safety tab, and we tried to get some ideas from the safety group. And what's interesting, we found some products that we didn't even know John Deere had, like the strobe light. And what some of the dealers have told us is not that, wow, your display looks great. You know what they say? I didn't know John Deere had that. I didn't know John Deere had, flashlights and safety glasses. Richard Miller, I believe, had 5 gondolas in front of his parts counter. He increased his parts and accessory sales with limited wall space because he used gondolas. This is a great way to increase parts and accessory sales on your floor. Prices. And let's talk a little about the Image 2000 elements and some of the prices. Starting with department signs. The sign above the parts counter. We have a sign kit with 5 signs. Sales, parts, service, nothing runs like a Deere, and lawn and grounds care. Now these signs are designed to be hung from the ceiling. They're 6 feet long, about 13 inches high. That's a great first start for signage in your store. Category signs. These are our category signs. We have 10 different category signs. They're made to go on a gondola. They come with the hardware and the double-face tape to fit on your gondola. Wall units. Now what we're talking about wall units, we're talking about this 4-foot section right here. It's 4 feet wide, 8 feet high. It comes with the lighted valance. It comes with the base. This is a 4-foot wall unit, and this is the wall units that we're using to run our walls in our stores. Lighted valance only. Now some of you dealers have already ahead of the game. You have slatboard walls in your stores already. You can purchase just the top here in 4-foot section, the lighted valance. get the hardware, the signage, the lights, and we have 13 different signs that go in these lighted balances. Lighted feature board. We talked about this a little bit. This is really an attention getter. Leave this on at night in your store. People come by the front window. They can see this. It's commercial. It's made to last for years and long hours. We have 10 different inserts. I think you've seen some of the ones downstairs. We have 2 new ones, one with the gator and one with the implements in. And the parts, fascia, we talked about that, the one we had, and we also have 2 parts counters. Gondolas and accessories. Now, we also have a accessory catalog. And I had these downstairs last night, and I'll have down tomorrow morning as well. But this is an accessory catalog from our supplier, Showbest, and it lists all the gondolas, prices, and accessories in here. And to give you a little help too on, on merchandising these, and, getting some ideas. In the back of the room, we have a literature rack, and in that literature rack, we have 24 different planograms. It has the picture on the front and the parts on the back. When you leave, help yourself. Take as many planograms out as you want to. We're also going to take that downstairs tomorrow. We'll have it on the display floor. So stop by and pull out a planogram. This will give you some ideas on how to merchandise your showroom. Then, if you would like a gondola, you can order them direct from Showbest. These are Streeter gondolas, and you can equip it however you want. This has got an end cap on it. It's got shelves. It does not have an end cap on the other end. It has a wheel kit on it. This gondola sells with the wheel kit for about $480. And that's priced at 55% off of Streeter retail price. The normal discount is 45%, but during the Parts Expo, if you call Showbest, you can get this gondola, any variation you want, for additional 10% off. Just say you were at the Parts Expo through the end of December. And we'll have accessory catalogs downstairs for you to take from Showbest. And also, you should have received in the mail a couple weeks ago a new Image 2000 brochure. And in that, we have all the accessories. And we have some new accessories. Literature pockets, wire and acrylic, all the trimmer racks and blower baskets that you'll need to display your Image 2000 merchandise on. And did everybody see the implement display stand last night on the display floor? That is an absolute great way to display implements in a limited amount of space. It's great. So that's in our Image 2000 brochure as well. Okay. Improve customer satisfaction. We talked a lot about customer expectations and what dealers have said. Customer reaction has been great. They feel we're trying to serve them better. All the pilot dealers we talked to, and the dealers have done an Image 2000 program, they all mention what customers say, how important it is that customers come into the store and say, gee, your store looks great. In fact, it's an interesting side note. I had one dealer I was talking to, he said, I don't know if it's just me, but he says, it seems that people ask less times for discounts now. I don't know if I look more professional, but he said, it just seems like they're asking less because they come into this whole new store and they know I've spent a lot of money, I've done a lot of work, and it really looks great. But it doesn't cost that much money to do all this. A $312 wall unit, and we're going to help you with some co-op dollars to do your stores. Boost employee morale. It was a total team atmosphere. Everybody was excited about getting involved. We talked about employee attitude, employee morale, and how that helps their stores when you do an Image 2000. And also one of the key assets, maybe of any dealership, it's people. And your people will enjoy this. They'll like working in your store. And the Image 2000 is a great way to do that. And the bottom line, well, it gets back to dollars. We talked about what it costs to do this. It doesn't really cost that much. But it's dollars per square foot you're going to increase. And whether that's on the floor, whether it's on a gondola, it's a return on your investment. It's customers saying yes. It's dollars back in your pocket. It's return on your investment for getting more parts and service available to the customer. Key to your future growth, we really believe it's Image 2000 in a store like this. Now let me tell you about Showbest. Showbest is our new supplier for Image 2000 merchandise. They're located in Richmond, Virginia. And they are a Marlite and Streeter distributor. Now Marlite is the brand name of the slat wall we're using. Great, it's a high quality slat wall. And Streeter, which you're probably most familiar with, is the brand name of the metal fixtures, shelving, and brackets that we're using for our wall units. So that's an industry standard Streeter. Showbest is a manufacturer fixtures on site. They're also a furniture manufacturer. These counters you see were manufactured by Showbest. Another element they bring is like corner units. Here's an inside corner unit. Downstairs on our display, you'll see 2 outside corner units. So we have more flexibility with ShowBest because they can produce feature items like this. They also have computer-aided designers on staff, so they can do a computer-aided CAD drawing of a floor plan for you in your showroom. And they have great improved customer service with a previous supplier. Okay, getting started. You've received your Image 2000 brochure, and I know many of you, there's an order form in the back, and you have ordered Image 2000 merchandise from it. You can go through there, and we have all the merchandise in there, the accessories, the wall units, the new implement display stands. So that's one way you can just get started. The second option is a self-survey. Now, to do the self-survey, you would call ShowBest, you'd receive an Image 2000 Getting Started binder. I'll give you some ideas on how to send some information back to ShowBest. You return some photos and floor plans. Then ShowBest would do a computer-aided drawing of your store. And the cost of this is $250, and it's refundable upon the purchase of approved elements. And the dealers that we worked with for the first Image 2000, they didn't get here because they bought a couple signs and a couple wall units. They made a commitment to change their stores. And the way they changed it, they didn't start with, oh, I think I'm just going to change a few lights and that. They painted all the walls. They fixed up. They cleaned up. They looked at their ceiling, and a lot of them changed all their ceiling tiles. They increased their lighting. They made a commitment to make a complete change of their store. And they used these elements to help make that change. But it takes more than just these elements to make the change. You have to do a total commitment to your store. So that's what we're looking for on a self-survey and an Image 2000 program. Okay, we're going to help you a little bit with some co-op dollars available on your early order program for handheld. If you're in, say, bracket D, 125, 250 units, there's a $1,000 co-op limit and a $500 dealer credit, which means if you purchase up to $1,000 of Image 2000 merchandise, you receive a $500 credit to help offset that. And that program runs out the end of December. So take a look at your early order program for handheld. If you're in maybe one of these packages, you can still change your quantities and bump that up until the end of December. Then use these co-op dollars to help you get started on your Image 2000 program. Okay, let's just review our class objectives. Understand customer retail expectations and how to exceed them. We talked about customer expectations, expecting more, how they compare. This is a way to get to exceed those customer expectations. Create a buying atmosphere with Image 2000 merchandise. Is this a buying atmosphere or what? You see customers walking along here picking off parts and merchandise. We talked about that wall unit going along there. Can you visualize this wall unit going over that parts counter? You got batteries, you got oil and lubricants, you got filters, you got all those items that the customers can go up here and pick off. This is how you can get there. And realize the key to your future growth lies in your store environment. The question is, the reality has changed. And the question is, have you? Now, I'd like to show you another short video from Roy Gardman in Hartville, Ohio. And this is one of the first dealers we did on this pilot program over a year ago on the Image 2000.
The attitude with the people with the new store and the new look, boy, everybody said, boy, it looks impressive. You guys really did a nice job with it. This year's been fantastic. I don't think we could ask for a better year than what we had this year so far. And one problem I got is keeping inventory in stock. You got to sell yourself first. You never sell yourself to the customer. You're not going to sell your product. If you want to stay where you're at right now and not gain and get any bigger than what you are, leave it at that and don't spend no money. But when you spend money, you're going to make more profits. It takes a little more effort, but you are going to make more money. We didn't build a new building. We just kind of took all the old stuff out and recovered it with this slat board, and it gave it an all new look. So basically what I try to say, if you give it your store a new look, it's going to make everybody around you work better for you, and your customers will like it better. I was against it when we started because it was getting too close to the season, but we did manage it through, and since it's all done, it's worked out fabulous. I really like the looks of the new store. It's the best thing I ever did.
Okay, we got a chance to review quite a few things with you today. Are there any questions that you have about Image 2000 or the merchandising package? Anybody have any questions? Okay, we have got one in the front row.
I've got a
Mike?
question. In working with some of the dealers in Michigan, some of them seem very excited about this. One of their concerns is finding time to put up all of these great fixtures. Do we offer any help with that?
Well, I tell you what we're doing. We're working real hard to improve the instructions with this. And actually, I've helped put up a few of these now. We put this whole wall unit up in about 3 or 4 hours with about 3 people. So we're trying to help you. It goes together relatively easily to put it together. And also, with the off season coming up, so to speak, the January, February time frame would be an excellent time where most dealers have a little bit more time to maybe do something like this before the spring selling season.
For some that make a major commitment, Jerry talked to you a little bit about getting started. There's 2 major options that we talked about. A lot of people will just purchase their own elements of doing themselves. Some of them want to do a survey and get the CAD drawings back to get a little help in designing it. But if you're going through a major renovation or something like that, we can get you in touch with local installers and things if you're doing a total remake.
Major thing, Showbest could help you with either themselves coming out or local installer somewhere that are familiar with working with street or fixtures.
So depending on the level of what you need, we can help facilitate any of those needs.
Great.
Any other questions? Anybody else have anything? Well, what we'd like to do, we've got a few minutes before the next class starts, so I'd like you, if you'd like to come on up, go ahead in the back and get some of the brochures. If you want to come up and look, check out some of the cabinets or some of the things, just take a few minutes to walk around. Your next class will start you'll break in about 5 minutes, so come on up and take a look around.